Here we are.
Here we are again. We made it. It's Friday.
That means nothing to me, but yes.
Yeah. That doesn't really mean much in the real estate industry, I don't think, because most real estate agents are like, oh, crap, it's Friday. That means I'm going to go spend my weekend showing houses and driving around. So.
Oh, dang. I was hoping it was 8:01 and Irene was going to have to sing, but technically it's still 8 o'clock.
Technically made it.
Oh.
Ah, what a bummer.
But Chris hasn't.
I love how she diverted immediately.
And now it's 9:01. There you go.
That's Irene. Mom, look at what the other siblings doing. It's worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you stay out of trouble.
Morning, Kim.
Man.
That's so funny.
Oh, look at that. Kim's here bright and early. She's here before Chris.
Oh no.
Dang.
Awesome.
Irene,
Chris
is your
is definitely
video
in
supposed
trouble.
to be on?
So I'm like standing next to my computer because I'm still eating.
Oh, I was like, why are you standing next to that? Just seems like an odd thing to be doing.
Yeah, I'm standing next to because I'm still
Definite
eating. And I'm trying to listen for the kids downstairs eating breakfast. So yeah.
Get it. Well, it is Friday. Good morning, everybody tuning in already. Welcome to the R&R home team. I'm trying to think of funny names like every week to call it, but yeah, it's kind of like I don't know, almost like a podcast, right? Like we just talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of building a team, running a team, and expanding with a team. And there's a lot. There's always a lot going on. Always a lot to talk about. Yeah. I'm just keep looking to see if Chris is going to show up. I'm losing faith.
The show must go on. The show must go on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Chris. Let's see. Who actually submitted forms? I think Walter, you did, right?
I did.
Right.
I think. I think just Chris and Irene didn't, based on the note that I saw.
I don't think Kat did, but Kat said why.
Right.
Which is cool. It's cool, Kat. It's cool.
I'm too good for that crap. I'm not doing that.
Basically, yeah, that's what she said. Oh, okay, there's yours, Walter. I don't know. It wasn't coming up. I was like, what's going on? Man, I say we just get this party started. There's some cool things to talk about, too, today. So, Walter, first question. Who are you? No. Actually, I guess the first question is, what day is it?
Yeah, right. Technically, that is. Well, now it's Friday, but I filled it out on Thursdays. So I'm time traveling.
Well, now, who's telling the truth? The old Walter or new Walter? All right. What's one problem issue you faced with the team this week?
Had an agent reach out to me that was really excited about making some calls to various strategic partners that she was looking to build up. So she was a little nervous about the conversation. I'm not quite sure how it should go. So that was something that we tackled this week that was really good. So
how did you tackle it? What did you do?
We role played it. Got her on the phone and we had great conversation about the great conversations that she was going to have. And we spent it was about 40 minutes on the phone, just kind of walking through different types of people she could call, what those conversations would sound like, what the value proposition is, both for the person she's looking to partner with as well as her own clients, and how to find those people if she didn't already have them. So it was good. We just got on a phone call and had a conversation about getting on a phone and having a conversation.
So Walter, why don't you share a little bit more about the strategic partnerships, because that has become a pretty big thing.
Yeah, it's great to see so many agents realizing all the business that they're leaving on the table because they just haven't thought about their business really to a deeper level the way they should think about their business. So we specifically talked about on the phone call yesterday or the day before, insurance reps and estate planners primarily. Those were the two conversations that we were discussing having in order to generate more business and build partnerships. So hats up to Paul Conti. His training is phenomenal. The agents are tuning in. They're taking it and they're running with it, right? Which is the linchpin to everything. You gotta be willing to go execute, right? If you learn everything there is to learn in the world, which obviously is not possible anyway, but even if you were just learning and learning and learning and learning and learning, nothing changes for you if you don't go execute on something you learn. So it's been really exciting to see all the different agents that are going, well, yeah, of course I should have that conversation. That's a no-brainer. Let me get Paul on the phone or Walt on the phone, and let's talk about fine-tuning the conversation so I do it right. And then they're just diving in there and they're doing it. So it's been really nice to see.
I love that partnership that we brought in for, everybody, because to be able to have Paul not only role play and you role play, but Paul will actually get on the phone with their partners and help that conversation happen. And there's really just not people doing that.
No.
There's really just not partners who are willing to invest in the business the way that you are, or should be willing to invest in your own business. And it's pretty amazing dynamic when you are willing to go and take the time to make the calls, and then your partners are willing to go and take the time and make those calls, because you just become so much more powerful and efficient. And I have been preaching for so long about leveraging partners. I mean, your partners, why wouldn't you leverage each other? It makes no sense. And yet most agents, what I've seen is a lot of times they pick their partners based off emotions. Oh yeah, I know them. Oh yeah, they were nice to me. That's great. But that's not a business decision. That's an emotional one. Like there's people that will literally go and stick with someone, and I'll ask them, why are you with that partner? And they're like, oh, they're nice. Are you kidding me right now?
Did you think there's a whole bunch of partners out there who are not going to be nice to you and still be your partner? Of course they're nice to you.
Yeah, and it's like, if they're a real nice person, they're going to be nice to you regardless of whether you're their partner or not. Yeah. So that's not a really good value proposition. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the question becomes, are they nice to you or are they nice to your business?
Ooh, I like that.
Because I'm nice to everyone. Right? I'm nice to my clients. I'm nice to my partners. I'm nice to my fellow agents. I'm nice to the people I bump into down the street. I'm nice to the convenience store clerk that I've never met. It's easy to be nice to people. But are you being nice to my business? Because that's what I'm looking for, is other business owners that want to partner together so that we can mutually grow and expand our businesses.
Yep.
So you can be nice all day long, but are you being nice to the person or are you being nice to the business?
Yep. I couldn't agree more. So you did role playing, walk through those conversations.
Yeah.
How were they with the role play? Were they receptive to it?
Oh yeah. I mean, they had already made the decision, which is the beautiful thing about it. They were like, I'm going to make the calls. I just want to make sure it's as productive as it can be when I get on the phone. So let's walk and talk through what it will sound like and make sure I'm not missing anything. Like, they were 95% ready to make the call when they called me. They just want to tweak it, fine-tune it.
Yeah, fine-tune it a little bit. I get that.
Yeah, they were ready to go.
So, question for anybody listening. Do you have people that you can role play with? People that will take what you're working on and help make it better, who are willing to be uncomfortable, because there's a lot of people who, oh, look at this guy. Look at what these breaking news alert. Chris is about to do our commercial break with his new song, his new hit single.
Happy birthday to Robert. Happy birthday to Robert. Happy birthday to Robert whenever your birthday is.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
There you go.
I mean, you did it. You did something.
I did something. We're not sure what
man. Anyway, do you have someone that will be willing to role play with you? That's the question that we were asking everybody, is because we were talking about Paul and Walter getting on the phone with people.
Oh,
don't, whatever you're gonna say, just don't.
I'll just hold on my thoughts in. I was like, man.
Yeah, you should do that.
This is getting this is taking a turn here.
Yeah. Only because you're here, Chris. It was going in the right direction, and then you showed up.
Are there any handcuffs involved?
Oh, okay.
There can be.
All right.
It can be.
I have several pairs of handcuffs.
Okay. This is.
That's a whole different course
am-
that I teach
Hey, I am
outside of real
rooming with
estate.
Walter in Vegas. You bring those handcuffs, big boy.
I mean,
Oh gosh.
there's all kinds of fun things I
We
teach for
can
handcuffs.
practice getting out of them by
Yeah.
picking locks.
Exactly right.
What were you guys thinking?
That's
What?
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Duh.
jeez, Robert.
Welcome to my life.
No
Pin it
comment.
back on Robert.
I'll bring zip ties too.
I've been here 2 minutes. Cap's already blowing up. Look at it.
Blowing up. That's good.
Good gracious.
It's just them being nice about your tardiness.
Hey, you know, you come in with jokes and a good personality and you're just happy. It's hard for people to be too mad at you.
Is that how that works?
Maybe. I don't know. If you
Unless
showed
you
up
have teenagers.
if you showed up in a good mood, we'd know.
I am in a good mood. This is my good
Whoa.
mood.
Chris coming in with fighting words now. I thought you were supposed to come in
I'm
with-
just kidding.
Now he knows why I didn't share my damn pizza with him.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly.
I'm still upset about that.
That's
Hey,
good.
Justin didn't bring me a barbecue sandwich the other day, but he brought Mark one, and I'm still holding it over his head. He did buy me lunch yesterday, though, so that was a start.
Maybe if you just tone down a little bit, people would actually want to give you the food that you have
Chris
dreamt of.
toned down.
Yeah,
That even exists.
I don't know. Anyway,
Back on track here.
can we even get back on track? Chris is here.
Yeah.
Back on something.
Derailed.
Derailed. That should be your name, your title in the your screen title should be just derailed. Walter, you got some favorite moments from the last week?
Yeah, so keeping with that same theme, just seeing the agents take action, right? How many times have we harped on, and I know we have in between us and Double Your Income and everyone else, 80% of agents are not executing on the knowledge they have, right? They're not doing anything. And I think 80% of our agents are doing something, which is why they're growing and why they're being successful. So I love that somehow, right? Sheer luck, maybe we're fostering an environment where agents are willing to jump out there and take some risk and do some things they learn and take action. And they are seeing the results for themselves of being willing to take some action. It's pretty awesome, actually.
I agree. I think it's really awesome. Couldn't agree more.
Right, name's fixed.
What?
He changed his name.
Derailed icon agent
Executioner's strategy.
executioner's strategy.
Very nice.
Okay. And the strategy was to derail, so it's just
Yeah, so it's perfect.
It's a whole circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay then. You know what? Unfortunately, we're gonna go to Chris with the questions now, just so he can derail him. Chris, one problem issue you faced with the team this week?
Chris did not have enough time to fill out everything because he's putting in listings and helping agents and doing all this stuff. So what problem did I face? There is too much knowledge up here in my brain, and everybody wants a piece of it. That's what I ran into. It's all the knowledge up here that everybody wants.
I'm interested to see how you solve this problem.
Yep.
Right.
So, first thing, I freaking looked like I got sunburned, but I didn't. So,
Okay.
derailed. Let's see. How did I solve it? Man, I came up with potential, suggestions and stuff from the team, and maybe from Irene that she might be able to help me put in some of my listings and take some of that stress off of me, and maybe even do listing docs. If I can get to a point where I don't touch documents at all and I just out shaking hands, rubbing elbows, kissing babies, all that fun stuff, then all of a sudden I probably close more. So if I'm not sitting there doing a bunch of documentation, but we haven't exactly figured out what that situation would look like yet or not, but it is a possibility that I could be getting help with some of that. So that would take some of that stress off. As far as all the knowledge up here that everybody wants, I don't know if the agents are going to quit calling me for help. That's probably not going to change. So increasing the amount of time that I do have to help them, I think is probably one of the best fixes for that.
Are you getting some of this similar questions, repetitively week over week, like same themes of questions at least?
Not usually. It's like, hey, this contract's falling through. I don't understand this process. Don't understand, that there's a commercial lender involved. I've never done this. Like,
gotcha.
It's constantly like something. So the more
it's a new learning piece for each of them every time.
Something. They're not repeating their questions really. It's like some of it's stuff. Even though I'm full of knowledge up here, some of it, like the commercial lending, I've not done. So I do have an understanding of it. But yeah, so it takes a little bit of talking through stuff, and then those aren't even their preferred lenders, and they don't have relationships with them. So when they do try to call the lender to talk to them about it, you can't get a hold of them. So, which is typical, right? So that's the kind of stuff that they run into. But I give them help, my support, that kind of stuff. And then I also do refer, say, hey, go talk to your brokers. So I do that as well. But it still takes time.
It does. It does. And there's some things that we're working on as a team to try and give agents more independent direction, or how would you say it? Self direction, like helping them to make plans and goals and learn a little bit more. But I will say that with the Carbon Club and even with the on our home team, like when we did that feedback, because we for everybody's listening, we try to get feedback from our agents about what they like and what they would love to improve, or something they'd like added in, because our goal is just to always improve ourselves and what we offer. And it was really awesome, but surprising to me to see that pretty much the number one thing everybody said was community. See, I'm over here thinking it's like all the resources and links, and people really, really like that. But then what I'm realizing is those things are great, but without someone to help you execute them or refine them, it's just another overwhelming tool, or a tool they don't know how to use. And now I'm like, oh, okay, it makes a lot of sense. And so it's really neat because we've got people like Walter who's going to jump and on a call and role play with them. In fact, Kat, Ray, and Lauren were bragging about you yesterday. And then we've got Chris and we've got Irene, and people have the opportunity to be able to actually have someone walk them through it. And what I think is neat too is there's a diversity around the type of help they can get. They can get many opinions and many approaches, so that they can kind of figure out the way that they want to go and what resonates with their business and their style the most. And I've never seen that anywhere else. That's not to say there aren't really good responsive brokers out there. There are, but there's still just one person. And it's just really neat to see us have this large collective that gives people so many options for execution, and then helps them narrow it down to figure out the one that they're going to go and take action on. And it was just it's definitely, I agree with you, Chris. I guess what I'm saying is, you said there's a lot of unique things that come up. There are. I mean, there's so many unique things that come up in real estate. People aren't really asking us basic questions. They're asking us scenario specific questions, right? Like, hey, I saw this on the contract, and in our state, I'm not really sure what to do about this. And they were supposed to say this, and they didn't do that. And we have to like walk them through the scenario and basically teach them how to solve unique problems. How do you start solving unique problems? Because there is a methodology for it, right? But if they don't know it, then they're going to look at it and be like, I don't know what to do. And then we're like, here's how you approach this. Here's how you approach solving unique problems. Chris, you got some favorite moments?
And I try to do exactly what you're talking about. I don't just give them an answer and say, see ya. I try to like help them process through, hoping that if I help them process through and teach them how to process, then they're not going to come back later with that same question.
They'll come back with a harder one.
They'll come back with a harder one. And that's okay. I'm okay with the
hard that's question. Good.
So,
means they're growing, right?
Right. I'm okay with that. So, what was your question?
Chris, I need a soundbite. Derailed. Or like a squirrel. Derailed.
That wasn't completely derailed. I wasn't like
no, it's just funny.
My neighbor's cat or something. I mean, like that.
Don't start. Don't even say the words because then you're going to start talking about it.
Uh-oh.
Do you have some favorite moments over the last week?
Favorite moments over the last week. Yeah, had a great meeting yesterday. Great lunch meeting with Justin, Bell and Alexander Title, and an agent that just moved down here from New Hampshire. Thought that was a really, really good lunch. Definitely a unique, I think, opportunity and kind of thought process for that is going ahead and introducing some of the people that we're looking to bring on to our title, our title company, our preferred title and vendors, and also being able to leverage them a little bit. And so if I'm going to be taking somebody to lunch, might as well, title needs to take people to lunch too. So might as well let them take us all to lunch. So, and I like lunch. So
leveraging partners.
Anytime Justin buys me food, that's one of my favorite times.
Justin's awesome.
No,
Bell and Alexander.
Awesome.
They're amazing.
So, Bell and Alexander title in Tennessee. Shout out to all those guys. Ben as well.
But I love that you talk about leveraging partners because I think that's been the particularly strong theme recently. In fact, that's what Walter was talking about while you were probably just mowing the dirt or something, knowing you.
Oh, I don't even use a lawnmower. I go out with scissors and just cut just to make sure that I'm late for meetings.
Nail clippers. He's got nail clippers. But leveraging partners, man. If you guys haven't heard it right there for team leaders and brokerage owners, if you're not leveraging your partners to help attract agents, these are the same partners that you want them to use anyway. These are the same partners that you're trying to put them around them. Why wouldn't you leverage them? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And if your partner cares about you and wants to leverage you, then let's run through a scenario. Let's say that you go and you want to bring this agent over to your team or your brokerage, and it just doesn't work out initially. But they met your partner and they liked your partner and they start working with your partner. We'll say Justin over at Bell and Alexander. Justin is your advocate. Justin's going to help you through that process of not only giving this client great service, right? This agent and their clients, great service, but he's going to be reminding them of their goals. And if it fits with what they're trying to accomplish, he's going to remind them, hey, remember, Chris can help you with that. Chris has got your back. He'll help you with that. That's what your partners are supposed to be doing. Rob Flick, I think he has like 15,000 people in his downline EXP. He was also, before he left, the largest profit sharing group or whatever you want to call it, downline at KW as well. So agents, he knows agents. He knows how to talk to agents. He knows how to work with agents. He knows how to address their needs and help them. And Rob Flick said that his greatest strategy was leveraging his partners. His greatest strategy. That should be a strategy that is integral to everything we do. That's why another thing I loved about Bell and Alexander is when I met with Ben early on before I had started using them, but I was getting ready because Ben had worked for a year's worth of follow-up to get my business. And I told him, I said, I don't want my partners to be invisible. I've met partners who are like, yeah, we prefer to stay in the back. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to work for me. I want the clients to know who you are. I want them to know who's taking care of them, who's protecting them, who's advising them, I want them to know that there are people around them throughout their life, because if they can't even remember your name, they don't remember where you work, they don't have your contact information, then how are they going to be able to go to you for help? Same problem most agents face, but when you have a community around them, the strength of the client, the strength of an agent grows exponentially. It's pretty awesome. Leveraging partners. Do you leverage your partners? That's a good question for everybody listening. Do you leverage your partners? We talked about leveraging partners who are willing to role play with you, go over scripts, practice, help you execute even. Some of them jumping on a call or going to a listing appointment with your buyer's consultation or whatever. But are you leveraging your partners? Is your lender willing to put in time and money into your business? Because if you are, and they want that business, I would ask, okay? I mean, think about it this way. Do you think that if you wanted to go be a partner at Walmart, that you would just show up and be like, I'm really nice and I'm going to work really hard? They're like, great, here you go. Here's access to the equity and resources we have built over years and years and years, tons of money, tons of failure, tons of time. But because you said you're nice and friendly, we're gonna let you. And you said you work hard. Geez, you know what? Just have the whole thing. But that's how agents act, and that's how a lot of partners act. You should give me equity in your business, basically, right? You should give me equity in your business. Why? Oh, because I'll have good communication. I'm sorry. Shouldn't you have that anyway? That's not really a good value proposition. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. That's my thoughts. That's kind of how I look at it, is if you're wanting to be someone's sole exclusive partner, you need to make an investment, right? It's a different thing if they come to you and they're asking you for something. But if you're wanting something from them, I feel like there should be some sort of, I don't know, partnership. All right, well, we did favorite moments. I guess we could do mine real quick. We could talk about it. It's kind of similar to what we're talking about. Problem, issue I faced with the team this week. I think this is just a recurring one that all agents face, especially if Chris is around and derailing things, which is having clear direction. Just kidding. Chris helps people with clear direction. I think that's a struggle I see a lot with agents, team leaders, brokerages, is they have no idea where they're going. And they might make a 1 year, 5 year, 10-year plan. I think like it's neat to have like 10-year plans that are really general. I'd like to be financially independent, right? But it's really, really hard for someone to be like, I want a private jet. And I'm like, okay, like, what do you want me to do with that? Like, seriously. Oh, I want to be a millionaire. I want to retire. And I'm like, come on, like, you've got to have the vision, absolutely. But you also have to have a plan that you commit to on a daily basis to actually make anything happen. The vision's got to be huge. It's got to be something that you're like, it's got to be big enough to move you to where you take the small steps every day. So I see that a lot. Yeah, Jennifer Otto. Hey, tuning in. Speaking of great partners, Jennifer Otto, she says, vision casting is so important. Heck yeah. Couldn't agree more. So having clear directions. So what usually happens, if anything, and I'd love to know your guys' thoughts too, but what I normally see with agents who are working, even top producing agents, by the way, who've been in the business for 10 years, ask them what their goals are for the year, and it's usually just a number, which is great and all, but there's usually not a plan, right? You know what? I want to sell 50 homes this year. Awesome. How are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to sell 50 homes. I mean, I guess that's a plan, but how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to get referrals. How are you going to get those referrals? There's no vision. There's no plan. And I'm telling you guys, like, even, and I want to hear from you, you know, leadership team, like when you've talked to people and you ask them, what their goals are. They don't have goals, or they're like they're not real goals. I just want to sell more homes. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's not a real goal. It's not. I just want to breathe more air. Well, I mean, I kind of assumed you just wanted to keep breathing. Like, I don't know. It's just like, so have you guys experienced that as well? That they either don't have goals, real goals, or they have goals, but there's no plan. There's absolutely no plan, no vision for how they're going to execute those goals. What have you seen, Kat? I know you've worked with so many people.
Yeah, and to be honest, and funny enough, I had several conversations just yesterday regarding like which direction they wanted to go, how they wanted to grow their business, especially with those that are looking to either think about forming a team or maybe have a couple of people like a VA or an admin and are looking to grow, and in having those conversations of, well, what do you want to do and what do you want to provide? I'm going to help them get sales. Okay, that's fantastic. That's what everybody wants. So helping them reverse engineer, like, okay, so how many homes are you doing that you're comfortable with letting off of your plate so that somebody else can grow using some of those leads to get them started? Do you expect them to bring in more than what you're giving them out in order to start that process? Or do you plan on being the one to hand all those leads to them so that you can basically hold them under you to train them? Do you want them to be able to grow themselves, or are you just looking for a buyer's agent, right? Like, those are things that a lot of people don't think about. They get the overall view of what the generalized idea is, but actually coming up with the details in between to help them then break it down and say, okay, so this is what I can actually offer, and this is what we can actually do, and this is where I want them to actually be, is a totally different thing. And that's actually something I deal with on a daily basis with the people that I deal with. I've got a client right now that their biggest goal, honestly, was just how to onboard their agents properly and make sure that they are getting things set up. So by the time they get to the point of being ready to start coaching with the team lead, they've already done some homework on their own. So it's a whole process that we created out of that to make sure that agents are also doing their part before they get a chance to sit down and have those coaching conversations.
I love it. Couldn't agree more. Walter, you're constantly coaching from brand new agents, even agents who haven't even gotten their license yet, because you're very generous with how you support people. All the way up to, team leaders. And I'm pretty sure you've talked to some brokerages as well. I know you've went in and coached and stuff like that. So what have you seen? Also, by the way, Walter loves to teach about time management, time blocking, and business planning, or whatever you want to call it. Everybody calls it something different. I think it's business planning. But so what have you seen?
Planning in Hawaiian shirts.
Business planning in Hawaiian shirts. I knew I was missing a key part.
I find that most people can be far more productive if they wear a Hawaiian theme. It just works. No, I mean, Kat hit it. She actually used the word that I use in my time management and goal planning course, right? Reverse engineering. You have to start with this big, audacious, strategic vision. Why am I grinding these transactions out year over year? What's the point, right? Well, the point is, I know what this looks like when everything goes exactly how I want it to for the next 5 years. I know where I'm at. I know what I'm doing. I know how my life has changed. I know how my finances have changed, right? In very specific detail, I know where this gets me. Then you have something to walk back from and build a yearly goal off of, because so many people will build their yearly goal off of some random, this thing is floating out here, arbitrary number. Well, last year, so therefore next year. No, don't plan off of last year. Last year you were a new agent, you closed 4 deals. Don't plan your next year off what you did then. Plan it off of this grand vision that you want to walk towards, because it's going to be a better goal. And then you have to reverse engineer that yearly goal. You have to break that all the way down into, what am I doing on Monday from 9 to 11 to walk me towards that goal, right? Yeah. And the other piece of that is, right, you have to break down the yearly goal. If you make a yearly goal and you look at it 9 months later, there's a 95% probability you're going to fail to hit that goal. So if you break that yearly goal down into milestones that you can track, repetitively to make adjustments on your daily activities if you're not on track, you're 95% probability you're going to hit your yearly goal because you've got milestones that you're working towards. So breaking that big strategic vision all the way down into individual daily action items prioritized for your life and your business, and then you just have to execute on the success that you're building, is where the rubber meets the road.
I love.
And that's where, I mean, that's that 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the agents out there, even with a yearly goal, don't execute on the day-to-day actions they need to get to that goal.
I love what you said about don't plan off your last year's sales. You know, in the corporate world, that is literally how it's ingrained. Last year, I sold 4 homes. Therefore, this year, I'm going to sell 5.
Right.
And what I've realized is at first, it's really logical. It makes sense. At a base level, I should be able to sell 4 homes. But what people forget is a base level is what? A base. It's just a base. That's like saying, here's my foundation. Now I can only build 1 story. Okay, but you could also build 2, right? Depending on that foundation that you have. And I've noticed that agents use their last year's sales as a way to limit themselves. Oh, well, I've already sold 3 and it's only 6 months into the year. So I'm feeling pretty confident I'm going to beat for my last year's goals. And I'm like, what does that have to do with this year's goals? Are you happy with selling 4 or 5 again? If you are, great, props to you. Okay, like there's nothing wrong with someone who's like, I only want to sell a couple homes. It's a hobby, whatever. Right? But that's a whole different conversation. And we're not talking about those people. We're talking about people who say they want to grow, they want to be better, they want to improve. And yet they're over there saying, well, as long as I'm not as bad as I was yesterday, I'm happy. And it's like, no, it's about being the best you can today. It's not the least amount of work you can do. It's how much do you want to do? How much impact, how much growth do you want in your life? And I never realized that until I got into real estate and started helping more agents and realizing that corporate mindset. The other part of it too is sometimes they have no reason where those numbers came from. I sold 4 last year. Awesome. How many you want to sell this year? Right? Easy question. 8. Awesome. Love it. Why?
Because that's double what I did last year.
It's double what I did last year. That's cool. That's cool. But what does that mean to you? More money? Okay, well, hopefully, right? It'd be pretty concerning if you sold 8 and you made less money. But I feel like that's a given. Why 8? And why 8 specifically? Why not 7? Why not 10? Like, where is this coming from? Because then the goal changes. Then the motivation moves because there's no actual connection. There's no actual reason for them to be doing these things that they say they want to do. Why 8? I asked someone the other day, a top producer, pretty cool guy that I like, and I asked him, I think it was last year actually, and he's telling me, he's like, I want to make $200,000 this year or $300,000 this year. I can't remember. It's a big number as far as average agents goes, and he's definitely not average in that in his sales. And I asked him why, and he said, "Oh, I just want to make sure that I'm making more money than last year." And I was like, that is a never-ending goal, and that will drive you crazy. There's no real accomplishment in, truthfully, I might get some hate for this. There's no real accomplishment in making more money just to make more money. You haven't accomplished anything. You've just accumulated it. It could be considered hoarding. If it doesn't serve a purpose, it doesn't really have value. In my opinion, that's my opinion. That's how I view money. That's how I view time. If it doesn't serve a purpose, it doesn't have value. It doesn't have value. And so we're talking about clear direction, everything that you guys are talking about. And I love some of the things we're attempting. By the way, attempting. Some things we know work. Some things we're learning about. But I love the fact that people who come in with the Carbon Club or with R&R Home Team, they come in, we're improving and implementing the 90-day success plan, which already gives them a plan that they didn't have to magically think of. And the reason why we did that is because there's things they don't know they need. Why? Because they haven't been with us before. They haven't experienced. There's things that they need that they don't know they need. So we're telling them, don't worry about that. Just follow this. We'll make sure that your foundation's set. Over the next 90 days, your foundation will be set. Okay? You're good. Then, through that period, we have accountability groups, which has been phenomenal. Personal and business. They're not just sell more homes. It's more focused on them. So now they have some accountability, and they're forced to usually declare at least three goals that they're going to have. It could be a weekly one that changes weekly. It could be one that's for the whole 6-week session. But then also, we're working on having our first second wind, speaking of Jennifer Otto and amazing events, working on having a mid-year, if you will, second wind party where we plan for the rest of the year. And then of course, another one 6 months later. So twice a year, you're doing the bigger goals, like Walter, you were talking about, the bigger goals. But then one thing we're going to be trying next month as a team, and then seeing how that goes, is we're going to be trying what I coined the State of the Union, where we turn around and we'll have the agents come sit down, meet with us, and there will be some prep work done prior to this meeting to make it more efficient and effective. But we help them plan. We review last month and help them plan for the next month. Down to the day. Daily, what are you going to be doing? And then even having them connected to resources directly, not, okay, well, we have resources somewhere. It's going to be like, Walter's going to hear them. They're going to be like, yeah, I really want to do one YouTube video a week. Walter's going to go, okay, you're going to go watch this course. You're going to go connect with this coach. And that's going to get you started. Now they didn't waste time looking for things, hoping to find them. Because even if it's clear and organized, it doesn't mean they'll find it. Let's be real. But also, what happens if you're a Chris and you just love to squirrel out? Squirrel out. We got to coin that. Put that on the shirt. Where not actually, Chris. I don't know if you squirrel out, but where you go in and you see another thing and you're like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to go watch that training. I'm going to go watch that thing. And you're like, nope. Hey, you said YouTube. Here it is. Go directly to where you need to go. Don't get distracted along the way. And so I'm really excited for us to be testing out that State of the Union. Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here thinking about this, and I'm pretty good because even though you will talk to someone and then you'll give my phone number to somebody in Canada or somebody in California that's trying to sell me some kind of lead service or whatever else, I ignore them. And then you follow up and you're like, have you talked to them yet? I'm like, absolutely not. This is what I'm doing. I just had that conversation with you yesterday.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
No. He's good at staying on his tasks. That's what he's saying.
I'm saying
all I'm hearing is he's terrible at communicating with me.
No. I'm ignoring the nonsense. You're saying don't squirrel. I'm ignoring the nonsense and doing my Facebook group strategy and continuing to bust through that and ignoring the rest of the stuff that I don't have time to do. Without
telling me that he doesn't want to talk to those people until it's like 3 months later. And I've had the phone calls because originally he was like, yeah, I'll talk to him or I'll check it out. You're killing me. Well, you're right. You are good at ignoring it.
That was 3 months ago. You're asking me to not squirrel, and then you're complaining that I didn't squirrel. So
no, complaining. You didn't tell me you didn't want to talk to him until 3 months later.
Chipmunk.
If I want to talk to them, I'll answer the phone. But they don't got to keep calling you. They're just
what we call a business marriage.
We ain't getting into that because you will absolutely forget to call people when it comes to stuff like that because you're busy with other things.
The things that I'm focusing on and not squirreling away from.
Mm-hmm. So funny enough, I talked to the gentleman yesterday on the whole squirrel and getting distracted, and he's out in Arizona, so he's started a YouTube channel, got some stuff that he's kind of been working on. Had a conversation with him regarding where his legs of business are coming from, and based off of that, he's getting a lot of past referrals, and he's got his YouTube channel. And he's like, yeah, but this girl that's in my office, she's constantly on Facebook and stuff like that. And that's where she's getting her stuff. And I was like, great. Do you have a presence there? He's like, well, no, it's not really my thing. I was like, great. Don't focus on it. It's great that it works for her and that's what she does. But based off of what you're saying your legs of business are and where things are already coming from, why would you even add that in? And considering the group age of people that he's getting, those people aren't connected to social media that much anyway. I'm like, so you'd be wasting your time on something that, one, you don't know how to do, two, is going to take you forever to learn, and three, it's not even the target people that you're looking for. It's a totally different area of people. And it's so easy, I feel like, in our industry to get caught up in all of that, because we all go to all of the free training and, oh, learn what this person did and learn what that person did. And we're like, oh, these are fantastic ideas. But if they don't resonate with you and what you do, then you're just chasing a tail. Forever, wasting your time trying to learn it, wasting your time trying to get it set up. And I mean, it might work for you, but I guarantee it's probably going to take twice as long because it wasn't something that you were really into to begin with.
Yeah, Walter said this before a few times. He said every lead strategy will work. All the ones that are out there that are tried, true, and proven, obviously they'll work. And there will always be people in those lead strategies that have had phenomenal, unbelievable success, moderate success, and below average success. There will always be people who, in every lead strategy that's out there, that's, again, tried and true and proven, that will do that. So but people see that and they go, oh man, that guy sold 50 homes doing cold calling. Well, guess what? Chris sold over 50 homes with Facebook groups and other stuff like that. Like, there's always someone doing excellent in every lead strategy. You have to know which resonates with your business. I started with cold calling. I couldn't stand it. Instead of fighting that, I said, it's not the only way to generate leads and build relationships. I'm going to do it find the way that I'm passionate about, that resonates with my business. And I went from selling no homes in 4 months in my first year in real estate, for the remaining 8 months selling like 34 homes. And I know Chris knows the story well because he went and found what works for him and who he is. And each and every one of the agents out there that are trying to find new strategies, it's like, or constantly chasing, let's put it that way, chasing new strategies. At the end of the day, it's like, you need to know who you are. This is not personally, I don't think you need to go and experiment with 100 different lead strategies, because the problem is that if you don't know who you are, what business you do, what your clientele is, then you're always going to be chasing, because you'll have no idea if anything's right for you, because you have nothing to compare it to. You have nothing to say, does this fit my business? You don't even know what your business is. So you'll never be able to answer that question, and you'll keep chasing and chasing and chasing, and it'll run you down and won't produce the results you want. And it goes back to what we were just saying earlier about having that vision, having that goal, planning that, right? And then reverse engineering it. That's why we're talking about the State of the Union, right? We're going to be talking about that, and how much time do you have, right? Looking at what they can do, looking at what they want to do, and then connecting them to the right resources so they don't have to chase over and over again a million different things. Kim says, that is so true, Robert. I was chasing everything. None of it worked, and it literally ran me down. We all do it, especially when you're new. When you're new, I shouldn't say that. I know tons of top producers who are always buying into it. They just have more money, so it doesn't look like they're chasing, but really they end up buying 100 different lead gen services. They're buying leads from Zillow. They're buying leads from realtor.com. They're buying VAs. They're buying all these things, and they're chasing. And then I've looked, and I know you have, Walter, and maybe you have, Chris and Kat, but I've looked at some of their books. I knew an agent to make $120,000. They spent $90,000 on lead gen to make 120. What? Right? Chris is like, I'm out. That was too much for him to handle because all his leads are free. He's like, that.
It's a great price.
It's a great price. Yeah, and he's not here now, but I was going to say, I actually got to give credit to Chris because he really does stick to what he believes in. and what he is great at. We were talking about, because we're always expanding and helping agents grow, and we're always looking for different ways. But the good thing about it is I'll go and I'll bring Chris an idea. Hey, have you seen this? Oh, he's back. Okay. I'm complimenting you, Chris.
Complimenting me. Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
What I was saying is that you're really good at sticking to what you know, because I will bring you ideas, and then you will be able to easily match them up on whether it fits who you are, what you're passionate about, what you're good at. You'll be like, you know what? That's cool, but I think that I need to keep focusing on my Facebook groups and growing those. So give me more of that, and I'm going to lean into it heavier. And that makes it easy. That makes it super easy. Chris didn't have to waste thousands and thousands of dollars and get on 100 different Zoom calls with different marketers. He can actually just go and he say, I know what my business is, and I know what I'm looking for. You either complement that or you don't, and it's just not a good fit. And that's what I do when I'm talking to partners. You know, there's a lot of lenders, and I don't like this philosophy. If you want a free lunch, go tell a lender you're looking for a new partner. It's a horrible mindset. It's also very deceptive. But I kid you not, I've been at several brokerages, and every single brokerage had taught that mindset. Don't know why, to be honest. It's really messed up. It's also not good for you as an agent. You're wasting so much time. And so what I do when someone wants to be a partner is, as I ask them, I go, listen, I know what I'm looking for very specifically. I'm always open to seeing something new. But if you're going to come at me and say you have good communication, okay, well, that should already be there. That's not a value proposition. I'm sorry, because I've got people with good communication. Oh, well, I'll get them closed on time. I'm sorry, were you planning on not closing them on time prior to this conversation? Like, and agents do the same thing to clients. They do the exact same thing. They don't have real value propositions. They just have what everybody else has. Oh, I love first-time home buyers. Okay, how do you show that love? What have you done to show that you love them? Well, I communicate with them. Okay, keep going. Please tell me you're going somewhere with this. And so I ask partners, I ask agents, what do you do that's unique? What do you actually do that's unique? What do you do that proves that you actually care in the way that you say you do? Because if there's no action behind it, then are you lying? Because we only can judge by the fruit, right? That's what the client will do. They will say, you promised all these things, but you gave me average. Some of these clients would have been happy if you had just told them you were average. Just dealt with that instead of hyping them up, right? Kat and I know the struggle, what it was like, you know, being promised things by brokerages or teams. And then when we actually got into it and expected to receive the things that we told we were going to receive, we didn't. And then we're like, listen, we didn't twist your arm and force you to say that you were going to provide those things. You said. And then you got mad when we asked you where those things were. Pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So, to everybody listening, do you have clear direction? Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and, you know, insert amount of years after that. Do you have clear direction? Do you know what you need to do on a daily basis to help you reach that monthly, that yearly, that vision that you have? And if you don't, what are you going to do about to change that? Or do you believe it's okay to not have clear direction? I would love to know. And by the way, if you struggle with any of those things, let us know. We got resources. My people will call your people. We'll connect you. We'll hook you up, because we really do believe in that direction. That's why we do this right here. We show you the good, bad, ugly live. We talk about all this stuff, hoping that it might benefit and bless someone, and give them a little bit more clear direction. It's good times. Good times. I'm super excited for State of the Union. That's all I can think of about. I'm stoked. I really hope it goes well. I'm a builder, so it's like you get super hyped and then you find out it doesn't work and you're like, well, that sucks. And then it does work and you're like, yes. I did it. I've created fire. At least that's how I am, because I'm extra.
No, I love it. I get super excited when I get a call from an agent that wants to work with me and they present a problem that I haven't necessarily figured out yet. I'm like, ooh, we get to brainstorm. This is exciting. Do you know what we're doing? No, but we're going to figure it out.
No, we're going to figure it out. I love that. You definitely have that attitude too. Like, yep, we're going to do this. Let's go. Crack your knuckles. Here we go.
It's a challenge. Yeah. I enjoy the challenge.
Yeah. Chris was saying that earlier too. He's like, agents will call me and I'll be like, ooh, I haven't heard that one before. All right, let's do this. Let's dive into it. I know Walter all the time. I know Irene's maybe. I don't know. Maybe you get stuff. I feel like you see a lot. Do you see a lot of the same stuff on the TC side, or do you get some unique problems that you have to problem solve?
There's some unique ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some that are a challenge. Most of Chris's are all the same. But it's usually the other team members that are different or challenging. Chris's are usually a walk in the park.
A walk in the park.
Yep. On like a crisp 60-degree day, not like anything higher than 70 because then it's hot.
Okay, and it's not Central Park then in New York either.
No.
And there's not a bunch of squirrels running around jumping from tree branch to tree branch.
You guys give me a hard time, but my transactions are smooth.
Yeah,
you give me a hard time, but mine are smooth. So
that's why we give you a hard time, because we know they're smooth. It's easy to give you a hard time about it because we're not worried about them not being right.
Seem like I'm just crazy, fun, and chaotic, and whatever. But my transactions are smooth. So
we get it. You have a whole bunch of knowledge up here that everybody wants.
Knowledge, It's the master puzzle put it together. That just
master puzzle put her together.
Put her together.
You should start a video series called Master Puzzle Put Her Together series, and just do snippets of conversations you've had with agents. Take 4 minutes per video, and walk through the solution to the problems you are finding as you go, so the new agents can have that resource without having to call you. They can be a master puzzle put her together on their own.
I need to record more of what I do.
You do. Yeah. It's almost like someone's been telling you that for so long.
Well, the problem is I record it on my phone, and if I'm on my phone, I got to figure that out.
You need to record how you interact with your clients. I think that's a lot of what agents on the team aren't getting. Is there's a certain way you handle clients, and the way you do it is good. That's what makes a transaction so smooth, is how you break things down. I mean, I've seen where I've sent something out for signatures, and the way you break it down to them when they have a question versus when I've seen me send a contract to another agent's clients, and then I don't see any interaction of explaining what that document is. They just have their client blindly sign it. So I think that's a lot of, if they see how you interact with your clients, how you break things down, how you talk to them, how you explain things, also how you handle things to even get the contract to close.
Yes.
Is what they need. Because
preach.
A lot of agents aren't doing that. I mean,
that's the difference between assuming that your agent or your clients know what on earth you're talking about and parenting your clients through the process. I know parenting
I assume they don't know anything.
A horrible word, but it's true. Like anyone I've ever worked with, I treat them like they are my child, and like I'm having to teach them as we walk through the path.
I think Irene, you make a great point, which is there is an assumption that your clients know what they're receiving, and it's even worse when they've already bought a home once. Because then there's an assumption. But here's the thing. You have no idea how that last agent treated them, what that last agent taught them. Chris can probably speak on this. And, of course, everybody else who has sold homes, I just highlighting Chris, about how many times a client had past previous experiences and hadn't learned a thing from previous agents. And I'm not even dogging on those agents. Maybe they didn't know to take the time to educate their clients, but you should be. Empower them, educate them.
I mean, when we bought our first house, I don't remember that agent really being involved at all. and he had both sides of the deal because it was an off-market house. So I don't remember any of it. And then that's actually the reason why I got into real estate, was because the transaction was so messy and we didn't know what was going on, that I didn't want other people being treated like that. So when we bought our second house and then I was the agent on it, it was way more involved and broken down, which my husband's not an agent, but he was also the one signing papers, so explaining things to him. And that's how I would treat all my other clients. And to brag on Amy is very amazing at this. I'm in her group messages. I see her interacting with her clients. She even had a huge text that came through the other day, which I think she shared on Facebook, where her client was literally like, this is supposed to be like the most stressful thing in our lives. And all three of you, Justin at Title, I think it was Carrie at CMG, and me and Amy, have made it like the smoothest process for them. Mm-hmm. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be where they don't have to really think about it because we have their backs. And seeing Chris and seeing Amy do that, it's awesome to be working next to them, because that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be flawless. And when something jumps out or there's a problem, it's supposed to be handled by us. That's why we get paid to do what we do, is to, help. We are literally the person in the middle fixing everything so that it looks completely flawless. Even if it's falling apart, we make it look like it's not.
Oh man, another fire point, Irene. Like you just on fire right now. I completely agree. And you guys know this about me. When I'm talking to agents or clients, one of the phrases I use all the time is, I got you. I make sure that nothing sounds dangerous or excessive or overwhelming. Client calls me with a problem. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you worried about that? Don't you worry. I got you. And then when I actually solve the problem, you know what I tell them? What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? And they actually respond, by the way. They go, you said you got us. I said, I got you. You don't have to worry. As long as you keep communicating with me and just following the plan, we're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. And I love it. So to wrap it up, man, some super strong themes today, but I'm going to see if I can do it in two. Agents need to have a clear direction for their business, and they need to make sure that their direction to clients is clear. How was that? Was that pretty good?
That works.
Yeah? Solid? On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being, clear.
10 and a half.
10 and a half? That's like transparent.
Yeah. Semi.
All right. Everybody listening, again, if you struggle with having a plan, don't worry. 99% of other agents out there do too. But we'd love to help you. Connections, resources, advice. If you crush it with plans, tell us how you crush it. Tell us what you're doing. Share it with others. And then never assume your clients know what you're talking about. Always look out for the best interest. They're counting on you. And most people, they won't ask. They won't ask. We do this live every Friday, 8 a.m. Central. We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. We never know what's going to come up. Sometimes it's squirrels. Sometimes
it's role play with Robert or Walter. Sometimes it could get wild.
Handcuffs.
Sometimes that happens. And by that, I mean Chris. Chris happens. Yeah. And it's a blast, and we have fun, and we laugh, and we cry. I cry.
Why are you crying?
You know why.
It's because I role played with Walter instead of you. I know. I get it.
That's it. You went fishing with Walter. I mean, there's just a connection there. I can't.
We caught monster fish that day. They were huge.
Yeah, we did.
Like the biggest fish.
Google Images. Yeah, we did. It was fun.
They were huge.
So yeah, see if you need more proof of why you should tune in. Here it is, right here. So yeah, if you need any help with anything, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. We'll support you. We'll encourage you. We don't care what brokerage, what team, whatever. We got your back. I got you. Leadership team, thanks for being here, guys. And everybody have an amazing Friday and an amazing weekend.
Yes, it's Friday. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Later.
everybody.